Okay, in this video I will be sharing why I think you should start turning your study notes into videos. This is what typically happens in an exam cycle. You enroll in a course, you attend a number of lectures, perhaps 20 to 30, you complete the assignments for these lectures, at which point you're quite knowledgeable generally on the topics at hand. Then weeks, maybe months pass. You review all of these lecture notes, typically weeks before exams. You then make some condensed notes and flashcards, which are really good to help you the exam. You then sit the exam and you forget all about your notes until you need to dig them up next year. By which point, when you look back at your condensed notes, often they are next to meaningless to you and you wonder how you ever understood them in the first place. So yeah, basically this means that you can't understand half of these notes that you've made, and even half is being generous. So why might creating videos from condensed study notes help overcome this problem? Well, when we condense notes, we're typically in a higher state of understanding. In fact, this is often when we are at our peak understanding of a topic in the exam cycle. The only trouble with this understanding is it rapidly diminishes over time. And this means that when you return to your condensed notes, you're going to have to reform all of this understanding. And to do that, you're probably going to have to spend many hours referring back to the original uncondensed notes many times. And this might lead you to think, well, what was the point in making the condensed notes in the first place? The condensed notes, though, are good when you need that information soon, when you need to recall the information very quickly after making them, for instance, for an exam. But if you ever need this information again, and you may do in future courses, future years, even future careers, you're going to want to be able to get that knowledge and understanding back in your head as quickly as you can. This is the key here. This is the key to why I think creating videos from the notes is a great idea. By explaining the connections between the items in your condensed notes, during this heightened state of understanding, you'll be able to recall this understanding when you come back to the notes weeks, months or years later. Now, if you write down all this information, all these connections between your condensed notes, they're not really going to be condensed notes anymore, so they're not really going to serve that purpose. And to be honest, you may as well just have the uncondensed notes. If you create videos from your study notes, you'll be able to listen back to your notes, and listening is a more passive activity typically than reading. This frees up your mind to take in more of the actual material itself. If you make videos from your own study notes, you are using your own study styles and methods to your advantage to support your learning and understanding. If you're searching on the internet for somebody else's notes on your topic, they're typically going to be from a different institution. They might be using different notation and terminology. They might be using visual aids and styles that you're not familiar with. But if you're making videos from your own notes to your own idiosyncrasies, then you can use this to your advantage. Also, if you're making videos from your study notes, then this is going to provide a direct way of testing whether you actually understand your own notes, because if you cannot explain your own notes to yourself, then does that mean you really understood them at all? You may need the knowledge from your condensed notes for future courses or even for a career. They are not necessarily just for passing an exam, and many people throw away their notes after the exams, thinking they're not going to need them again, only to find that future courses in subsequent years build on that material. So you do have to dig your old notes up and try and fathom what they're saying. By creating videos from your notes, you'll also be improving your speaking skills. Now, you don't have to make your videos publicly available, but you could also share with others, and that might help them with their learning too. So how might you create videos from your condensed study notes? To do this, you're going to need your written notes themselves. You might want some video capture software, e.g. OBS, a microphone to pick up your voice, a webcam if you want to actually record your written notes themselves. Alternatively, you could convert your written notes to slides. This is a great idea if you aren't blessed with fantastic handwriting. You could equally as well forego all of these and just use your smartphone to record your written notes. But if you want to actually manipulate the videos themselves, then you're probably going to want some software of some description. And of course, you're going to need somewhere to save and store your videos. Video files can be quite large depending on format, and it's important to back these up. The general approach to creating videos is largely up to you, but some tips I can offer would be: review your notes point by point, explaining how each bullet point leads to the next and how different points connect with one another to form a bigger picture. What you're basically doing here is you're adding flesh to the bones of your condensed notes. You could also perhaps draw visual aids as you go. Visualizations, especially in abstract topics, can really help with understanding. It's also a good idea to create separate videos for each course, each chapter, each topic, and perhaps even each assignment questions. Exam setters tend to like to select questions or modified questions from assignments. You could also perhaps share your notes with other students in your course for feedback, and this might help plug any holes in your understanding. So there might be something that you feel like you really understand in your notes, but you might be mistaken, and if somebody else looks at your notes and listens to your videos, they might be able to point out areas where maybe your understanding isn't quite 100%. And that's basically it. I wish you all the best of luck in creating videos from your notes, and if you do have any questions about this, please feel free to post a comment in the comments section below.